Hey everybody, and welcome to a new Let's Play series. This is going to be a hardcore mode version of Path of Exile, which just hit open beta, which means it's open to everybody, and because they had their last character reset when they flipped the switch, that means anything we make here will stick with it even when the game reaches full release. But we're going to do hardcore mode. I have some experience in the past with action RPGs and, say, the Diablos and the Torchlights of the world. I'm not best ever, but this should be a fun, interesting run to see how long I can survive, and if I happen to not survive, at least in Path of Exile, if you die in hardcore mode, you don't lose your character forever. So, to try and go ahead and get things started, we are going to actually go and select the Shadow class, so I'll give you an opportunity just to hear what he has to say in the intro.
A simple job, I was told. Silence a big mouth, get a big payout. And no one was going to be the wiser. Tidy, except for one loose end. Me. I would have kept my mouth shut. Professional integrity, it's called. Unfortunately, not something my employers believed in. They raised a toast to a job well done. I drank, and the next thing I know, I'm on this stinking crate bound for exile. It's not a complete loss, I suppose. The way I hear it, there'll be plenty of work for a man of my talents in middle class.
Yes, there will be. So the story of this game, if you can understand that, is you're going to a continent where pretty much anyone who's suffered or been convicted of any kind of crime just gets to go and rot there with everyone else who's been dumped on there. But is it the safest place in the world? Of course not. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, someone like a Shadow is going to feel right at home. And I can go ahead and pick up a glass shank that's laying on the beach, maybe.
Nothing like a brisk dip to start the day. Now where are God's arse?
Now you see right here, I've gone over some of these in a quick look that I did before, but I'm going to touch on them very briefly here. Path of Exile has some different systems to other games. The first one is essentially weapons. Pretty much all equipment has sockets. The sockets correspond to different things. Strength, dexterity, intelligence is red, green, blue. And we're going to do our first quest here. And here's a guy. Oh look, we all got dumped on the beach and everyone's dead, including you. Hello, zombie. You're going to get shanked. And you see, the other part of the equation is that you get gems. And those are your active skills. You can drop a gem on there. You see I have Double Strike now, which is something that uses mana. Two nice things. First off, unlike other games that you may be familiar with, you can socket and unsocket gems as much as you want. And second, you see this has an experience bar. So, your gems gain levels, and that's how your abilities gain levels. So, we're just going to go ahead and saunter up the beach and take in the lovely sights. Now, do I know what I'm going to do with this character yet? Not quite, but in some sort of preliminary playthroughs that I did last night, I kind of found myself using the spells more often than the melee attacks. Okay, that's a good critical hit. Oh, zombies. Of course, it'd be really embarrassing to say, hey, let's make a hardcore video and then die right now. Another nice thing is that I just used a flask to heal, and you see I didn't use up everything. I only used up a little bit of it. So, did I just pick up an item I can use? Yes, and an auto-equip. See, this armor has a socket. If I have a red gem, I can throw it in there. Okay, so that's a lot of zombies. I could really use another weapon because a Shadow is kind of a caster melee hybrid, and we'll get into that a little bit when we get into leveling up and going to the talent tree, which will bear some explanation. But I think I'm going to focus a little bit more on the caster portion this time, because I could use some more mana. I'm probably going to be using a lot of abilities that take up mana and do all kinds of elemental damage. But the other thing is, because we're on hardcore, survival is going to be paramount. And there's actually multiple systems in this game. If you look at your character sheet here, right now we have well, let's go to actual defense. Armor is 28, so there's your basic armor rating. Evasion rating is 55, that's your chance to dodge, and some armor pieces you get grant evasion instead of armor, and then there's also an energy shield which you can get, but we don't have anything of that yet. But you see this is a Dex Intelligence style character. So, poor little broken figure is currently hurting a little bit. Let's see if we can get some stuff in chest. There we go. And you'll see the different items that drop. I turned on a few settings, if you're not familiar with them, that'll let me see both what drops and what sockets are on the items. So we just gained a level. Yeah, it's nice to not be dead. That's usually what we want to do in hardcore mode. So I'm not going to go for a bow shadow. Instead, we're going to go to the very simplistic, skill tree. I've heard enough jokes about this skill tree. I'll say that I like it. If you liked Final Fantasy X, you're going to be familiar with the sphere grid system, but this is not nearly as linear as the sphere grid. You get to go around pretty much wherever you want. As some other people have pointed out, and this is a helpful tip to me, sort of the top third area tends to be more magic abilities. The bottom right, the sort of 4 o'clock area, is more dexterity abilities. And then the about 7 o'clock third of it is strength abilities, which interestingly matches up with our sigils there. So eventually we're going to be building our character to try and go around just to some part. We're going to pick up some survivability nodes on the way. Said there is not a lot in the way of respec-ing. You do get some points that you can respec, but if you kind of screw up your character, the developers pretty much said, hey, you screw up your character? Cool, roll another one. I mean, it's not something where you can just wipe everything. But immediately you have a choice, because we're kind of on the borderline here. Do we want to go for physical attacks in a lot of these green areas? And we can go back to that. Or do we want to go for these areas here? I'll tell you the area I'm most interested in hardcore right now, and that is this beautiful life section that has percent increases and flat increases to maximum life. So there's not a super quick way to get there, but we are going to go the spell damage route, because at least the last time I was playing we got a lot of spell damage, and that 10% helps, 9% helps almost immediately. And then we'll see what else we can find. So that's the skill tree. You eventually go on, you move to it. This is all passive abilities. But some of these, you see, these larger marks will be bigger increases. It costs the same skill point. You get to move 1 per level. And then you get to some of the keystone areas, like Ghost Reaver. Life Leech applies the energy shield instead of life. That's an interesting one. These are all things that kind of have some special qualities with some big drawbacks, like 30% more spell damage, but you have to be low on life. This one I find interesting, Chaos Inoculation. Maximum life becomes 1, immune to chaos damage, and you say, whoa, what am I supposed to do? That's where some builds I've seen focus on building up your energy shield, and then hopefully never having it break. But we're not there yet. Like I said, we're going hardcore. We are going to go on the basis of trying to get some life here, so I don't think we're going for a chaos immune build. And chaos damage is one of the many types of damage you can get in this game. Right now, what I really want, at least while we're starting, is another weapon. I'd really prefer, say, a gem, another gem of some kind. Maybe too early. And I am doing my... oh! There we go. We got a blue item. I think those guys may have seen me. Blue item. Plate vest. Unidentified. Let's go ahead and identify it. Scrolls of Wisdom. You're going to see these are actually pretty valuable because, and this is one thing I really like about Path of Exile, you've noticed I've picked up 0 gold. That's because, hey, you're a prisoner dropped on an island. Gold means shit. Doesn't mean anything. So, +8 fire resistance doesn't do a lot for me, but I used 1 Scroll of Wisdom to identify an item. I can use these to trade for items. I can use any of the items to trade for other items. And you'll have a better chance to view that. Another thing, just while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put on this fire resistance chest because it has link sockets and because it's just magical, at least for now. There is some fire damage maybe in this first area, but I think the bigger thing is if I got it, I might as well use it. at least while I can. And that indicator right there means my skill, my right-click skill right now, is almost leveled up. And that gem, you don't always have to use the skill to level it, you mainly just need to gain experience. Which is good because not all gems are associated with an actual attack, which we'll cross that bridge when we reach it in the Let's Play. So let's see here, I'm going to bring over the overlay map. It looks like I missed a small area back here. And so far, I mean, like I said, I've played this game a little bit. I've been pretty impressed. More than anything else, I've been impressed with the willingness of the community just to help each other out. It's kind of a breath of fresh air usually when you see a release like this that gets some hype, gets something like a Diablo III killer or something. You'll get a lot of troll bait on there, but generally people seem to be very interested, especially this Hillock person who just really wants to give me a hug. But notice my mana is depleting rapidly, so's my health. Yeah, you can't just tank and spank. Maybe if I was a Templar or something. So, there we go, I gained another level. Oh wait, no, I just completed a quest. We are going to go ahead and drink our flask just because we can. And notice I've taken 2 swigs of this. I have 23 charges left. So it's nice, you can fill yourself up without getting rid of everything, and even better is that you can pick up, I swear I just picked up a mana flask that was there. Oh, that's because it's up here now. Yeah, you can pick up other flasks, so you're not just limited to that. And not all flasks are for simply mana-oriented stuff. So 1 other Skull of Wisdom. Armor scrap, that's very important for crafting, because white items are not just vendor bait and totally useless in this game. You can actually upgrade items from white, and sometimes if you can find a superior white item, you can turn it into a really fantastic weapon. So that's another good Diablo II thing, kind of making a comeback. So do I want to put on a rusted spike right now? Sure. I'm a little cutter person here. Let's see here. So, glass shank. I'll probably just go ahead and identify you. Worst case scenario. Okay, so that's good. 10 lightning damage, 7 increased attack speed. So we'll actually do this for now. So I got some decent weapons, and my gem leveled up, so we'll go ahead and do that. And all that means is that it costs more mana, it does more damage. It's nice when your skills level up with you. And a lot of gems you find, even if you find a level 1 gem that's a skill you want early, it doesn't take super long to level it up. So this is the first town. And you see a little bit that this is kind of what people call a ARPG MMO, because you can interact with other people either on the notice board or trying to meet up people in your social area. And then there's the very familiar people with question marks over their head. I have them marked and labeled just because that makes it easier for me to see. You have your item stash. Now, just to let you all know, this game is free to play. It is supported by microtransactions. But thank God this company, Grinding Gear Games, is not doing a pay-to-win formula. Probably the most significant upgrades you can get for, say, your character that actually affect gameplay in some meaningful way is additional stash tabs and additional character slots. Everything else is cosmetic. Now, some of the cosmetic stuff looks cool, but what's great is that you won't see, like, here's a flask that ups your experience for 24 hours. Here's a flask that doubles your damage against monsters. It's being sold in the item store.
Fine work with Hillock.
So we get here essentially just everyone starts from square one. If you want to buy some nice things, you can. But, I mean, right now I'm not doing any microtransactions, and I'm not going to put any of this in the stash, but it's there. But let's see here. We have a dual strike gem. We don't really need 2 dual strike gems right now. And notice none of these are soulbound, so I can put them in a stash. So let's see here. Fire Trap is good. Freezing Pulse is good too. I kind of like both of these a lot. How am I doing on gem slots though? Because that's gonna... Okay, so I do have some Iron Greaves with a green here. I'm gonna take the Fire Trap. Okay, so while we're doing this, let's just go ahead and put green on there, and you'll see I get another item slot. I don't really like having the fire trap on my mid mouse key, only because I have a crappy mouse and it's a real pain to push the mid mouse key and zoom in or out. But see, there's a good example of somebody. Hello, Troy Spaghetti level 23. He's bought a few things off the item shop that make him glow, and they do look nice, but it's nothing that's going to make him better. So here's our first quest. We got to find a medicine chest. And then Bestral is probably going to say, hey, find the medicine chest in Tidal Island. Alright, so we got two people that want us to get a medicine chest. Go figure, a prisoner colony needing medicine. There's some dying people crying in the background. Now here's another system that's worth mentioning, which is, if I want to buy items, you'll notice cost 1 scroll of wisdom, cost 1 scroll of wisdom, cost 2 scrolls of wisdom, cost 1 orb of transmutation. Now these items are good, but notice I only have 3 scrolls. So what do you do if you don't have gold? You barter. And to do that, let's go ahead and put all of our white items that we're not going to use up here. And I'll hold off on selling this for now. So Driftwood Scepter, that's not bad, 10% increased elemental damage. But I think we want the critical strike right now. Notice that as I add those up there, we get scroll fragments and then scrolls of wisdom. So you drop enough crap up here, and you will indeed get some useful items. So rusted cask or rusted cask. I got enough red slots. Let's actually put... Oh wait. Unequip. Well, oh that's right. You cannot do that in the store window. So I'm just going to get a few items. Go ahead and switch up my inventory. So this is still in beta, so there are some things that maybe won't be the most convenient or things that are subject to change. But overall, this game plays very solid. So let's see here. We're going to go for someone who is kind of a caster, but tries to deal just damage. Right now, I think the most important thing for us is to just freaking survive. So here's your basic weapon seller. Notice I don't have strength to use a big, scary club. And some of these plate vests have different socket alignments that maybe are a little better. But notice here, it's like requires 17 intelligence, 11 energy shield, 11 energy shield. Energy shield's a little white bar that goes next to your health orb. That's depleted before using your health. So it's not bad to have, but are there any items that I can use that will really help me out? Like, that one will take 2 scrolls of wisdom, and it's an additional 28% evasion rating. That's actually... well, that's 28% to the item. So that's not terrible. Claw that has lifesteal. So let's see here. We can really up our evasion rating. You kind of want some armor, too. I'm not the best source to tell you whether to do 1, 2, or 3. Or go for all evasion, then armor, then energy shield. But I think we're going to try and focus on at least... So yeah, I'm going to hold on to my scrolls right now, except to get this one. So can I equip it right now? Straight? Yeah, I wonder what was up with that before. But it won't let me sell it. There's a different window for selling. So we'll go with the armor right now. We got some evasion. I don't think there's any weapons that are going to replace what we got. So let's see, like a dagger, rusted spike. Yeah, I think the most important thing at this point is that we've got to go... I'll just sell these. Because we've just got to go into the world and kill. And preferably not get killed. Because this is hardcore mode. If I die, that's it. No distractions. This is a persistently online game, so... Can I pause? Nope. So you'll see trap mechanics are kind of familiar here. You have up to 3 that you can use at a time, and you just throw them around and hope somebody springs them. And you can throw them pretty much wherever you can point your mouse. So that's a nice bonus. Let's see if we can get some guys here to catch on fire. There we go. And see, that takes mana, but it does keep them away from me a little bit. And they resist cold, so it's a good thing I didn't try this with the... oh! And that's nice. They even took some somebody took some lightning damage as well. I'm not sure if that's from my melee attack or what. Does not appear to be the case. But I'm already a lot more effective with just a small weapon upgrade. So there's some iron greaves, and see, I can mouse over them and find out what's up. And there's... that bar that keeps appearing at the top is kind of a minion meter. So it'll tell you how much health your items have, how long they last. Yeah, you are always short on mana. This is a very mana-hungry dude. But you can restore your mana by drinking flask, and you can restore your flask by going to town. And we're in what the game developers call an instance right now. And pretty much instances are just areas that you go through. Think of them as like little zones and other ARPGs. Most important quality is that they will reset if you leave them idle for 15 minutes. So if you AFK in town for a while and come back, everybody will be back. But if you just hop into town real quick and hop out, you're okay. If you hop... yeah, that's some nice lightning damage there. But if you hop, say, into a waypoint or something and then come back, it's not going to reset. So that has its positives and its drawbacks. I mean, compared to what I've had... see, small life flasks, so... and that one doesn't have anything in it right now, but it's just a basic one. We're going to take that off our bar for now. I mean, I'm going to try to avoid the direct comparisons to say something like Diablo, but I will go ahead and say that it is a nice change just to not have to re-log out and log in a game any time I want to, say, farm an area or run through an area. So, nothing much here. It's here. Did I pick it? There's a scroll of wisdom that fell. I think I picked it up. If I didn't, there will be plenty more. Like I said, I'm just really trying to watch my health. This is the kind of game where I can die stupidly. And it's especially going to mean watching my mana as my abilities leveled up. Which one was that? It's probably the fire trap. So it's going to say, to your 1 to 5 fire damage, how much is it now? 1 to 5 fire damage, or it's in my boot. 4 to 6 fire damage. And traps last 30 seconds, and they make people go ouchie. Okay, so spring the trap, please. Thank you. There we go. Let's really try and clear this out.
How much this place wants me dead?
Aww, this is, so I guess I picked the smart aleck. Always has something to say, won't shut his mouth. And he wonders why people send him over there, send him over here. They're probably just annoyed with him. Aw, some more people dissing on D3 over here. I'll just go ahead and say it. I played Diablo 3. I thought it was okay. I played Diablo 2 a lot more. And to be honest, Diablo 3 just didn't grab me like 2 did. And I guess that's not really a unique opinion. I enjoyed it okay. I played towards the I played it at launch. I actually got it through the annual pass from WoW. But oh Jesus, we're gonna die here if we're not careful. But I played it with the annual pass, so I sort of paid for it on the go. Okay, so that is a scary attack that I would love to have. So that's a superior creature up top. I'm on fire. So that's terrible. That's a lot of damage I'm taking. And there we go. Resist chaos, extra fire damage, cast firestorm. Guess what? We probably want to be out of the firestorm. We're just going to single target hurt you. There we go. Person who killed me when I played last night. So let's see here. What do my items look like? I'm not really picking up a lot of stuff, and maybe I should pick up a few things. Because I will get magic items eventually. But I mean, anything I can do with scrolls is a plus. So I'm curious. It looks like I might be taking fire damage. Oh, that's because they throw little burning things too. So you gotta watch out for that. My fire trap is very loud, very happy. Okay, so someone's bragging about an item they got. Actually, let me go up here, because this is where the boss was. And generally there's some chests or crates or something around here that I might be able to explore, but no, it looks like it's just a barrel. A barrel of nothing. So where are we relative to the rest of the map? Well, it's nice I can see them coming away on their shadows. Okay, so I just threw some traps down there. There's a chest. Okay, let's be careful. Good. Now we're trying not to get surrounded here. I said trying not to get surrounded, so I just killed a bunch of people with my, well, accidentally placed trap. So, we're at least alive. That's more than I can say about this point last night. So, is this a safe place to check the skill tree? Yes. So we're just going to go ahead and go straight to increase spell damage again. And there's no takebacks. Once you do it, you do it. So, next thing is going to be, do we want to do elemental damage or cast speed? And that's kind of an interesting choice. Because so far I have a lot of instants, but that's not always going to be the case. Probably going to want to do elemental damage, but the most important thing is getting to that set of health nodes. So drop a trap. Okay, it has a nice little ring around it, and fire damage is not chaos damage, at least as far as I know. However, it is nice that we have the sort of video game trope of, hey, my big scary trap kills them but doesn't hurt me, even though... Okay, that's a little ominous. Hey, look at the shadows. They're coming to get me. Okay, so I wonder how long that'll last. So, Splintered Tower Shield, that looks like a giant inventory eater. Probably is. Let's go back up here. Said, pretty little shores. Lots of people coming. Gotta cool down on our traps. So your glass shank. Glass shank's probably better than what I have starting out with. So nothing in the chest. Bunch of nothing. Shabby jerkin. See if that does anything. That should give me some more evasion, which is helpful. So let me just make sure this is all clear. Yeah, I trapped those guys from below. So use a Scroll of Wisdom, which is just identify an item. And it's going to give me 21 evasion rating. And it requires 14 dexterity, and what do you know, we get better fire resistance. We get a blue slot, which could help us. So we're just working away towards the map, and we're actually getting to our first quest area. Let's kill these guys first. Wow, that's a lot of you. I'd love to have some support gems that actually affected those skills a little bit. But I can appreciate their attempt to kind of ease you in. Okay, so right now I'm facing a little bit of a cooldown problem. So I'm not using my dual slash very much, but it really eats mana. I think for clearing it's more going to be melee, 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 trap, trap, trap. And some people may say, oh, well, combat in this game is a lot more simplistic than, say, other ARPGs, but we'll see about that. Videos I've seen make it look pretty interesting. This is just the early level, so I don't have a super high expectation. So there's the mud flats. We're not going there yet. In fact, we'll probably just go ahead and make a cut here and say, look, the tides are coming in. And we are about to go to our first side area, the Tidal Island. Just open the world map here. So we're going to be going over here. You notice the monster level is 2 in the terraces. Side areas always have higher monster levels, so you got to watch out for them. But we'll start that next time.